And now we're joined by our expert guest, Marco Ovci, Senior Specialist for Social Protection International Labour Organization and Luxembourg team for South Asia and Country Office for India as well. Good evening to you, Marco. Now, how significant is India's success at expanding its social protection coverage to an extent that is not only the fastest growing over the last 1 decade, but also the second highest in terms of the number of beneficiaries?
Good evening. I consider that India's success at expanding social protection has 2 main points. First one is that the first important point is that it exemplifies the economic growth of India, which India made has been reflected to the redistribution of wealth through social protection system. India being a member of BRICS country, and then it's important to give a positive signal to the world. And then the second point is that India's social protection expansion of the growth and growth, and then the increase of the percentage on social protection coverage positively affect not only to the social protection coverage of statistics in India or in Asia, but also it affects the global social protection statistics due to the large number of India's population.
Right. Now, what does this tell us about the efficacy of the multiple and wide range of schemes which have been launched by the Modi government since 2014? Does it cover all the bases, and is it almost universal and leakage free, which used to be a major issue because of the kind of cases that had cropped up before 2014?
Yes, actually, like India's growth of the expansion of social protection is remarkable and steady. And then in this respect, ILO is a standard setting organization, minimum standard setting organization on labor issues, and then we have a convention and recommendation. And then I think India's expansion of universal social protection coverage is very much in line with Recommendation 202, which is a social protection flow recommendation. And in this respect, the steady progress of the social protection coverage recorded by years in India has been remarkable. And then it's not only started in 2016-17, but actually certain social protection coverage has been already achieved, but it has not been firmly reflected to the data. So ILO, together with the Ministry of Labor and Employment, jointly worked for the social protection data improvement and the data pooling exercise. And then now the social protection coverage in India is more accurately and better reflected, which is aligning to the reality.
Okay, so that is also going to happen, is what we understand, and the data will get further refined and populated, and perhaps the number of beneficiaries would even go up, crossing the 1 billion mark. That is something that's been forecast. Now, the World Bank has recently also come out with a report saying that extreme poverty in India fell to 5.3% in 2022-23 from 27.1% in 2011-12. Now, would you say that these welfare schemes have played a huge role there?
Indeed, actually, India is a large country and social protection system is quite complex. And having a central and state schemes, and then combination of contributory and non-contributory schemes.
Yes.
Taking into account of the large informality incidence in India, non-contributory schemes plays a very critical role in achieving universal social protection in India.
Okay. And from time to time, some economists and the government's critics have also been raising concern over rising inequality and income disparity in India, as is the case with even developed nations like the US. Now, does this expansion tell us that this concern is misplaced, or do you feel that more work needs to be done to ensure that this income gap is filled?
Actually, the issue and the problem of income disparity and then inequality is not only the issue or the problem of India, but it is relevant to the countries, fast-growing countries all over the world. And then seeing the growth of the universal social protection in India, then I think that India is following a right track. I think that income redistribution has been achieved by expanding social protection schemes, particularly, as I mentioned, that the non-contributory schemes to be in place. And then in this respect, that of course that India has been achieving progressively and steadily the expansion of social protection. But I think there are many many schemes and many increase of the benefit level, adequacy level, etc. There are many things, like which Indian government can further tackle.
And which are the areas, you mentioned some of them, but which are the other areas that you would like to see and you would like to in fact work with India in to ensure that these numbers, that number of billion beneficiaries is achieved soon, and the maximum benefit is accrued to society in general of all the provisions that not just the centre but several state governments have also been making in terms of social protection?
Actually, as I mentioned, that India's social protection system is quite complex, like with a combination of the central and state schemes. And then in this respect, that state schemes has a very critical role to play to improve the existing social protection, existing expanding social protection system, and then to have a much wider outreach to the people who are living in the remote areas, for example. And then from the life cycle approach, I would say that further expansion would be needed for the working age population, and then partly because of the large informality and then the informal economy workers who are not firmly covered by social protection schemes, and for example, domestic workers. It's possible to tackle how to expand social protection to this category of people who are not sufficiently benefited from the progress of the social protection system in India.
All right. Well, let's hope that progress is made on every front that you've mentioned already. So much has been done, and just a little bit more can really be transformational where Indian society is concerned, and that goal of becoming a developed nation becomes all the more closer. Thanks a lot for joining us and talking about it, Mariko Auchi.